Good morning, it's Kerri Michael with Disability Rights Arkansas. Here with me is Debbie New, and she is our education advocate here at DRA. With a new school year just about to start, we wanted to take just a few minutes to talk about special education, what parents need to know as we start a new school year in a post-COVID environment, and what that means for our kids, and make sure that you know what you need to know to get the kids off to a strong start in school this school year. Debbie, thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So this is a weird year. What can parents of children who are receiving special education services expect in a virtual environment?
In a virtual environment, it's going to be using the computer and being on, it's going to be different in all the school districts. Some school districts are planning on having the students there, and they're going to be teaching them through along with the other class, the ones that are at school, and it's going to be at the same time. And it's going to be at a certain time. There's a few schools that are doing whatever time the child has time, they can work it in, which works really good with parents that are going to have to work, and everything, so they can help the child. So with your school district, you're going to have, it being all different, there's one place to call, and that's the Department of Education. And Commissioner Johnny Key has set up what it's called Arkansas Ready to Learn School Guide. And they try to keep up on that, and they've got a number that you could call, and then they'll direct you to the LEA in your district, or who you should call and see exactly how they're going to be setting up your school with virtual, because everyone's going to be different. What I'm hearing mostly about the therapies with the schools in the IEPs, those are going to have to be done at school. So far, there's not any school that I have contacted that's going to be doing any services like that, having their people go to the homes, especially during COVID. So it's going to be a little difficult if you decide to do virtual. But all the schools have a choice where you can either choose to go virtual or attend school. And then, of course, if the kids are going to attend school, then they're going to be wearing masks, and there's a lot of our kids that just will not wear masks. So, there's going to be a lot of difficulty when school starts, but they're just going to have to call their different districts to see exactly.
Okay, because I was going to ask that. So, parents, I'm sure, are concerned about keeping their children safe, and obviously we also have to think of the safety of our school personnel, our teachers and therapists and different folks. And so if they're providing that in the school and there is no, just wondering, is there any information on what districts are offering as safety measures, or is that just information that they'll need to get from their LEA?
They'll probably need to get most of that from the LEA. I sat in on a webinar with 3 schools, Little Rock, Bismarck, and Fort Smith, all 3. And they were all different, the way they were going to set up. I see that, like Bismarck said that they had 20% of their student population was going to do virtual. So they'd only be at 80%. So they thought they could keep some of that social distancing a little better with that thing. And Fort Smith said theirs was at 25% that was going to do virtual. And Little Rock really surprised me, because the principal there said 49% of their students in the Little Rock school district were going to do virtual school. So if they decide to do virtual, it's going to be different. And some of them were going to do it at a certain time. Some of them were going to do, like I said, they could do it whenever they could. And then they would, maybe a teacher would come on once a week or something, and, and do, study with them, or they were going to have a hotline they could call if they had issues. Everything was, so they need to contact their school districts to find exactly. But I've got a number here that from the Arkansas Ready to Learn School Guide, and it's a resource call center. And everybody can call that number and be directed, you know, to where they need to call. If you don't know who your LEA is, you don't have your telephone numbers, or if you're having, you know, problems with the school, they're all supposed to ensure that, you know, the child has a tablet, you know, some sort that they can do this. I do know there's a few schools that's going to be sending out the paper work. And that way the student does not, you know, have to get online if they don't have the internet service. They're going to be able to do it, you know, through paper and then send it in. That's going to help, you know, but I'm not sure which school districts all are doing that. There's several of them. But I'm going to give this, I want to go ahead and give this resource call center number, because it is very important that they, you know, call this to get any information. And it's 833-353-6050. And that's the Arkansas Ready to Learn School Guide Resource Call Center.
Okay, so that is 833-353-6050.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so parents, you know, for more information on what your district is specifically offering and through what means, that's the number to call. It sounds like it varies pretty widely between school districts.
Yes, and they were also very widely on recess and how they were going to keep the kids separated, and the mask, you know, situation. Now, most of them were going to have the mask and put them on one of those lanyard, you know, so the kids, smaller kids, could wear them around their neck and not lose them, and then be able to pull them up and put them on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that was, I think it was Fort Smith School and Bismarck School. It said, you know, that's what they were going to supply the kids with those if they go to school, you know, if they're there. And there's a couple of the schools said they had decided on doing both, you know, go like 2 days to school and then have 2 days of online and then have Fridays off, you know, which sounded, but I did not keep up with all the different school districts because we got so many, you know, what they're doing. So.
Well, let me ask this. So, you know, I feel like a lot of parents will want to know, so for children who receive additional therapies, you know, it sounds like that service provision varies pretty widely too. It's not going to be done in the home anywhere.
Well, now I say any place I have talked with so far.
Okay. So maybe your district is running it a bit differently. And so is that the same phone number if you want to find out about, you know, if your child needs additional speech therapy or some other kind of therapy, that 833-353-6050?
Yes, that they could go and they could direct them to where they need to go with that. But the LEA with the therapies and everything, the way everyone that I've spoke with, they're there, but the children are going to have to come to the school. But there are a few that are, if they're on Medicaid or something, that are going outside the school, and that's how they're kind of getting around that, and they're getting their therapies, and they will come to the home. I've got 2 clients that's how the parents work that. You know, it's kind of up to the parents to work. Okay, if I can't get my child into the school at this time, and they're, you know, everything, and they're receiving Medicaid or they're on the waiver, everything, then they can opt to get services outside of school to come in.
Okay. So I feel like that's important to know. So, you know, so between your school district, and it may require a little additional footwork with Medicaid.
Yes.
But you can get it done if your child is in, you know, has a health condition that would prohibit them from going to school. And some parents certainly have that, to where if you have, you know, their immunity is compromised in some way or something, you're not going to take your child to school. Okay, that is helpful. What advice can you give to parents who are either having to kind of renegotiate or establish an IEP? How do they prepare for that in this new environment?
Okay, with the IEPs, they, of course, when I went in with my son, you take a suitcase in. You want to take every paper you have, or psychologicals, or any kind of paperwork you got, and prepare with the school and have it in writing, or with them exactly what the schedule is going to be for your child. We've run into some things where they've left it really open, and some of the kids are not receiving as much online services as they should. With the paraprofessionals that come in and help, we run into that. So make sure that that's in writing. That way they don't have any leeway. That it's a certain amount of time. And also with the therapies, if your child is going to have to, if it's going to be there, and what time, and see if it's they accommodate you. But it's going to be a lot different, because they're going to be doing it virtually, and you want to make sure that you're getting all the hours, or if they need services one-on-one, which they can do that through the internet, but it needs to be down there on how much time, and make sure that it's going to work for you as a family.
Okay, so particularly, for families who may not, families in Arkansas certainly have varying degrees of access to broadband. Virtual services are, vary pretty widely in how feasible they are in different communities in Arkansas. So It sounds like a really good general rule to go by is to really spend time talking through these IEPs, making sure that everything you think you're going to need is in writing, explicitly stated.
Yes.
Because if it is in the IEP, it has to be provided, yes?
Yes, it is. And if it's in the IEP, and it's not, and they call me, then, it's very easy for me to go, well, it's stated right here in the IEP. So, I'm not, and I can argue with them, well, I know COVID, but COVID did not change our IEPs. Whatever's in their IEP is there, and it doesn't matter that that COVID come in. The school has got to figure out a way of servicing those children. Mm-hmm. If it's virtual or what.
Right, the state has that obligation.
Yes.
COVID or no COVID.
Yeah,
so
we did. They did not get a waiver. They tried to get a waiver to change the IEP, but it didn't go through. So which was great. So they still have that. So, don't say, oh, it's COVID. So, they used to do this, or this, but now that, COVID come on, we don't get that. And that did happen when it shut down this time, because nobody was really prepared, but they've had all this time to prepare. And they should have everything in place for those that they're going to give for those IEPs. All of the LEAs has assured me that no matter if it's virtual or if it's in school, they have got that covered.
Okay.
We will not know till school starts.
Right. So, but it sounds like they've done, that they've done the work in the intervening months to prepare for this moment, and hopefully things will all go well. If parents do need help from what can DRA do to help if things, if parents need an additional, some additional guidance? What are we doing to support parents during this time?
Okay, well, of course we see what the issue is, and a lot of times we can fix it by just calling the LEA or special ed teacher. Sometimes, it's just small things, but if it's something healthy, we will guide them and also contact the LEA and get involved. I mean, and it depends. We like to do it at this level for me, because I'll go with them. I love to go to IEP meetings with parents, the Zoom, and that way, we could hear it and question the teachers and make sure that, they are following that IEP, because sometimes they like to read those IEPs and they read it a little different. And say, no, we don't have to do that. But I can be there to, yes, we do. We need this different therapy, because we have students with different disabilities. And so they require sometimes different therapies that the school does not, realize. And we can ask for different tests, different assessments, that kind of thing to help.
Okay,
So yeah, we
good.
can help in a lot of ways.
Sure. So if, you know, if your IEP is in good shape, you've talked to your folks and you're blowing and going, then great. If you would like a little bit of additional guidance,
Mm-hmm.
we can help you. So our phone number is 800-482-1174. And you can give us a call. Happy to answer any questions or, you know, provide guidance or support where it's needed. Debbie, is there anything else that you think is important to know if you're a parent sending your child back to school or in the virtual environment?
Yes, you know, I am very worried. I would be very worried about sending my child back to the school environment right now. It has seemed they had the first school that opened on a Monday, and then they had COVID, which was up northeast Arkansas, and they had to shut down for 3 days and then go back on Friday. So, you know, if they do send their children, you know, it's gonna be hectic anyway. I mean, because I feel like most schools are gonna, if they test a child, if they're sick, they're gonna have COVID. I mean, you know, and so that's gonna affect them when they go back to school. So they could go back to school, go 1 day, and then shut down for 3 or 4 days. And I'm not sure how the teachers are doing the ones yet. I just heard about this. So how the teachers are accommodating the ones that are on uh, the internet, the student virtual. I don't know if they're keeping that going during those 3 days, or if the way I understood it, they'd shut the whole school down.
Including virtual.
Well, you know, that's what I've got to get on and find out. You know, I'm not sure because I just heard about the, you know, school being closed, and that was probably going to be a big problem with all schools when they opened up this week.
Okay, so we'll air this and hopefully we can do a little follow-up work, and in the comments maybe find out as we get more information. We will certainly share that with all of you.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, but what I'm taking from this certainly is that communication with your district is key.
Yes.
And, you know, and certainly this hotline number, 833-353-6050. Make sure that you get a hold of your LEA in your district. They will have the most up-to-date information, most likely.
Yes.
But as we learn things, we will share them with you. And we are here to be a resource to you. Our number, 800-482-1174. Anything else, Debbie?
That's it.
Okay, well, y'all, we are looking, we have hope for a safe school year for you and all your children, all the teachers and everyone in your district. Thanks to everyone for helping to educate our kids and keep them safe. Debbie, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you. Y'all call us if you need us, 800-482-1174. Thanks so much. Take care.